Can I just throw that question out there? I'd like your help on this. Is the green argument right after all? After all is said and done, and we will speak to various voices on this who can sort of illuminate different parts of the argument. I have scratched, of all the things that we debate on a regular basis, I mean, Brexit comes up once in a while, but for years it was clearly a daily thing. In 2016, that's all we talked about every day. It was Brexit. Immigration, of course, is the top of the list. The one that has always left me scratching my head with sheer frustration, if nothing else, has been the green argument and all that surrounds the green argument, the inconsistencies, the basic lack of urgency for something that's meant to end planet Earth. I make this example every single time. You know, we closed down the world because of the virus, because of the COVID. Closed down the planet, pretty much. And yet here's something called the end of the world, as in the environment, the environmental catastrophe. And actually, if you drill down, no pun, there is a very casual approach. You can still buy the 4x4 cars. You can buy as many as you like. Yes, that fella that runs London, Mr. Sir Sadiq, has, you know, he's got his cameras to try and find 350 people who might be driving the wrong car. But if you want to pay for it, you can still pollute. There's all of these things, you know, plane travel. The list goes on. It just seems like a madness to me. However, is it possible that the Greenies were right all along? You can power a nation without the need for oil or to frack or to do all that horrible stuff. Wind provided more electricity than ever last year in the UK as we move further away from planet-warming fossil fuels to power the nation. That is the headline on the BBC's website. Just note the editorialisation of that first phrase, from planet-warming fossil fuels. These are their words. But we do know that wind generated 83 terawatt hours of electricity across the United Kingdom. This is England, Wales and Scotland. That is up significantly from 2023. Electricity generation from major fossil fuel power stations fell to just over a quarter of the total of last year, as other renewables like solar also rose along with electricity imports. Now, of course, the aim by 2030 is to get to a stage where fossil fuels account for less than 5% of electricity. But now we have a situation where it's been a record year for wind power, which has overtaken everything. Therefore, is it right to say the Green lobby have won this particular argument? We can power a nation with the wind and the sun. Have we all been getting it wrong in the hysteria, in the contradictions, in the hypocrisy, in the myriad of arguments around this? Has the fact of the matter been staring us in the face? If you fire up enough windmills, that sucker will give you energy. Oh, it'll provide you with everything you need for a healthy, beautiful, green, efficient home. 0344 499 1000. I'm also going to ask you, because once in a while we talk about this, we do get callers that have solar panels on their house. It's always still strange, isn't it, when you spot a house with solar panels? It's like back in the day when you first spotted a house with a satellite dish. Or go back a little bit, a squareal. Remember those things that lasted about half an hour? And solar panels still has that, you know, there's a couple near me, but there's only a couple. And I guess they've been there a long, long time. If you are one of those people that do generate your own power because of solar panels, how does that work? And I think Elon Musk isn't one of his many, many, many projects selling kind of the unique Acme home domestic solar panel kit where it will store energy as well. Thoughts on this one? 0344 499 1000. Is the green argument right after all when it comes to powering our homes? Let's speak with Candice Holdsworth, writer and broadcaster, to help us out on this and a few of the other big stories of the day as well. Candice, afternoon to you. Literally at that moment, she dropped off. I think the wind turbines stopped turning, and so we lost a guest as a result. Neil says, whilst wind has performed well and generating about 32% of electricity, solar is pathetic at around about 4%. So why continue down the path of solar? I think, Neil, because Ed Miliband is just like throwing everything at it, right? Rich says, a lack of charging points is never my problem. It's the speed of chargers, as the grid cannot cope with 6 cars on chargers, even beside a power station. It's twice the price of petrol on the public charging network, and if you are clever, can use car as a battery for the house. About all it's good for. Fair point. And one here from Peter. Pete says, good afternoon, great show. We all have electric cars. The cheap off-peak tariffs will disappear as sure as eggs are eggs. You're absolutely right. And you consider, you know, at the moment, the lack of road tax, we know that's going to kind of creep in. It'll be no cheaper to drive your electric car. And some will argue, in terms of the environment and the roads, more destructive, as in the carbon footprint.